Hello everybody and welcome to this week's tarot card reading, and this week we are using the Dreamy Moons Tarot. This is a new purchase for me, so we have the light deck and the shadow deck. So the way I'll be using these is we'll be starting off with the light deck for the energies for the week ahead that we are aware of and that we can see and that we can sense, and then I'm going to be using the dark deck for us to become aware of the things that might not be so obvious, that might be in our subconscious or could be in the shadow that we're not yet fully conscious of. So let's go. So giving the cards a really good shuffle, because this is a new deck and I have been working with it a little bit, and the insights have just been incredible. So I really wanted to just start sharing it with you. A really kind of a different way of using the tarot to help you work on those shadows, those things that could be coming up that we kind of really just are in our periphery that we might not be aware of, yet could be having a real big impact on our life. So the first card we have is the Six of Crystals. And so the suit of crystals is the equivalent to the swords in a traditional tarot deck, and it is associated with the element of air and deals with the mental realm. The next card we have is the Devil from the Major Arcana. And finally, we have Temperance, also from the Major Arcana. So the Six of Crystals is really a card about transition and change, letting us know that there are better times ahead. And I love that this card has come up because we have a full moon on Friday, and the full moon is a really beautiful time to release, to let go, to energetically cleanse yourself so you have the room and the energy to bring forward those better times. So we may have been through turbulent times, but we are heading to certainly a more abundant future. It's time for us to move forward. It's time for us to make those steps so we keep moving forward, so we're not getting stuck in the past and then moving forward towards the reality that we want. So it's really a reminder that we are the creators of our reality, and that through choices we make, we can really move forward and have the future that we desire. So interesting as well that the Devil has come up, because the Devil is really letting us know that there is shadow work that we needed to be doing. There are things that we may not be aware of that are coming into play that we really need to focus our attentions on a little bit more. It's really symbolizing, we all have shadows within us. There's all things within us that we've not necessarily dealt with or brought into the light, and that's okay. Sometimes we don't even realize that these things are happening, or that we're being trapped by patterns that we haven't recognized, things that have come up through childhood which are still affecting us now. So doing that shadow work is really important so we can release those things, so we can begin to move forward. So like I said, it could be unhealthy relationships, it could be negative habits or thought patterns, and by doing the shadow work, it's really inviting us to bring those things into the fore so that we can work on them, heal them, resolve them, and move forward into a life that is really more aligned with our soul. And then finally, we move on to the beautiful card of Temperance. And for me, this is all about spirituality, being in perfect balance, creating divine balance within our life. It's one of the most Zen cards in the tarot deck. And it's really an invitation to bring in patience, to bring in balance, to spend time in spiritual practices, whatever that may be, whatever it represents to you to be spiritual, to be in a spiritual place. For me, Temperance is a real invitation to seek that balance of being in the real world, of being in the mortal realm, as well as being in spirit and being connected to spirit. So we all have the ability to communicate with the divine, to communicate with our higher self. And this card really lets you know that you are being guided and that you are being supported, and with the right tools, and by creating calm and patience in our life, then we can bring in the beautiful energy of the divine, of the communication with our higher self into our everyday. So that is the card from, I guess what I would say, the conscious side of our mind. So I really love that the Devil's come up, because now we are going to delve a little bit more into what sides of ourselves are still in shadow. What patterns are we needing to address that are going to help us move forward at this time? And, you know, as I said before, with the full moon coming up on Friday, this is really the perfect time to be thinking about those things that are perhaps not fully in our consciousness as yet, that could actually be impacting on how we are showing up in the world. So as we said before, this is the darker deck, the Dreamy Moons Tarot. Kind of, for me, symbolizes what it is that's in shadow, what's happening in the subconscious that we may not be aware of, that could actually be having an influence on how we're going at the moment, of things that we may be struggling with, patterns that we may not be aware of that need to be brought into the light so we can move into healing. So just giving them a really beautiful, good shuffle and see if anything jumps out. And if not, when I feel like things are settled, just give, do have one jumping out. And another one has just jumped in and fallen on the floor, so just bear with me 1 second and we'll just get the last card, which is the 8 of crystals. And remember, the crystals are the suit of swords in a traditional tarot deck, and the card that jumped out onto the floor is the Emperor. So with the Magician, the other card that jumped out, we had the Magician, the Emperor, and the 8 of crystals. So with the Magician coming up, for me, it's really about anchoring into the fact that we are the vessel between the two realms, and that we have the power and the wisdom to manifest whatever it is that we want. So for me, we're not fully anchoring into our power as the Magician, our ability to manifest, to create what it is that we want in this world. And that could be because our mind is overwhelmed with the 3D. We've got a lot going on. We don't feel connected to ourselves to be able to take that inspired, heart-centered action to turn our ideas in our reality. So for me, this is really speaking to the fact that we are being too much in our head, that we are probably overthinking, overanalyzing, busy, not really leaning into our resourcefulness, leaning into knowing exactly what it is that we want to be creating. We could be stuck in indecision. There's a real sense that there's a lack of clarity about what it is that we want to be manifesting. So for me, this is really inviting us into taking that time to really cement in what it is that we want to be creating, because when we have a clear vision of where we want to go and we are taking inspired, heart-centered action, we are really talking to the universe that we are ready, that we are in that energy of creation, and the universe is going to co-create with us. Next, we have the Emperor. And the Emperor is a very much authoritarian father figure, talking about responsibility. So it could be that there's something around authority that we're struggling with, some issues that we have around taking responsibility either for ourselves or our past, or it could even be that we have some issues that we need to do that go back to our childhood and the father figure that we had, or lack thereof, that we had in our life when we were a child. There may have been some patterns that we are repeating, or there may be something else going on that speaks to that sense of strong masculinity. I feel as though addressing those issues, if they are there, or just even becoming aware that we may have issues with taking responsibility for ourselves, or we may have work to do around our father figure and how it showed up in our life and how that's having an impact on who we are and where we are now. Some work in that area could really help shift a little bit of energy. And I said, like, this is the subconscious mind. This is something that we may not be aware of. So it could be an issue. You may find that it isn't an issue, but it's worth spending a little bit of time thinking about this to see if it is something that could be blocking you from creating the life of your dreams. And last, we have the Eight of Crystals, the equivalent to the Eight of Swords in a traditional tarot deck. And this card is really about being blind to the truth, having self-limiting beliefs, maybe even a little bit of victim mentality. And that is what is blocking us from being able to move forward to being in the energy of the magician, of being able to create the reality that we want. So you can see in this card that the female figure is bound and blindfolded. She is maybe even trapped within those crystals, really signifying that she feels stuck, that she's not able to see anything that's going on around her. So it really speaks well to this sense of this is something that's going on in the shadow. This is somewhere where we need to be spending a little bit more time, because you can see that those bindings and that blindfold, they are loose. They're not restricting her really in any way. So in doing a little bit of work, we could unravel those ties and we can free ourselves from feeling trapped, from feeling as though we have no way to turn. So really taking back control, taking back our power. So working on our limiting beliefs, working on that overthinking, really letting go of being stuck in that worst case scenario, always thinking that the worst. Let's shake off those ties. Let's do some work on ourselves and really be able to move forward and have the life that we are dreaming of. So there we have this week's cards. We have the Dreamy Moons Tarot Light Deck and the Dreamy Moons Tarot Dark Deck. We're really talking as what is going on in the subconscious, what is going on in shadow, and things that we can do to move forward to really be creating the reality that we want. And yeah, a little bit of a different reading this week, but I feel like there's lots and lots of messages for us to take on there and to work on this week, ready for us to be in that energy of releasing, of letting go of all these things that we might be carrying, allowing us to make space for whatever we want to create in 2026, and remembering that we have the power to create our own reality by being intentional in our thoughts and our actions. So if you have any questions or you'd like to know more about this beautiful Dreamy Moons Tarot deck, please feel free to reach out. But I wish you a beautiful, abundant and blessed week ahead. Bye for now.